The Lord, all hail the Lord. We seem to be saying this a lot. This is not a religious show. I'm talking about the Lord and Master Shardul Thakur. Why am I saying that? You'll get to know in just a second. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. India winning the toss, choosing to bat in this second and very important ODI because 1-0 down in the series. So must-win game today to stay alive in the series. Reaches 287 for the loss of 6 wickets in 50 overs. And there you go. The reason why I say that is Lord Shardul not out 40 right there at the end. Of course, the innings belong to Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant absolutely fantastic today. 85, unfortunately, couldn't get to his century, but his highest score in one-day internationals. Captain Rahul plugging in there after the 2 wickets of Dhawan and Virat fell in quick succession, getting a half century and a 100-run stand with Rishabh Pant. For the South Africans, well, it was Shamsi who got the 2 wickets. We'll talk about that and a lot more. I'm Gaurav Kapur. I have Harsha Bhogle and Dinesh Karthik here with me. Harsha, how many times in the last few months have we said, all hail the Lord?
All hail. This is like the British aristocracy, man. We got a sir and a lord. The sir's not here, so the lord's taking over. So, you can't get by, even though the actual lords are a bit more like relics than in reality. So, this is a better lord. I think it's a good score. I think it's a good score. I was just asking DK while this was going on, whether actually when he's got a little bit of time, is Shardul more bat than ball on current form? So that might be something interesting to talk about. I think it's a little over par. I know DK said 280. Did DK said 280 during the...
I said 275.
During the combox. I heard Vernon Philander say anything above 280 is a plus for the side that is defending. So I think it's marginally plus. India need to find those 2 phases where South Africa put them down. And just looking on the Cricbuzz app on the overs, it's one part of the app that I like very much. Look at this overs number 10 to 16 when South Africa hardly conceded any. That's 2-1-5-1-1-5. And then again between 31 and 41. India can put those overs together. I think it's a good score.
DK, you think so? You think this is a good score? It wasn't looking like it would get close to 300 especially when those quick wickets fell, when Rahul and Pant, that partnership ended. We were in fact on air around the combox, around over 35, 36. Wasn't looking like it would get till here.
It is a very, very good score. I feel we're at least above 10 to 15 over par. Just the way the spinners bowl, it's turning, especially from the stump. When the ball starts turning from the stump, it gets really hard to rotate strike. And that was something that was very evident. So I feel it is a very, very good score. And India should be able to defend it pretty comfortably.
Oh, we told you right in the beginning, before the first show began, we told you that India would win today. This is the problem. When your face is so pretty, nobody trusts anything that you say. No one's listening, but it's okay. Thankfully, I have 2 very, very wise people here with me. I'm not saying they're not that good looking, but their wisdom overshadows their good looks for sure. But even they're telling
Are you sledging us? Are you sledging us?
I think I ended up sledging myself more than sledging the 2 of you.
No, you called yourself good looking and you cast aspersions. Okay,
and
it's
stupid.
okay. At my age, I'm okay.
Said I'm good looking and stupid. And I said that both of you are good looking, but you're even smarter and wiser than your good looks.
What about that athletic, ribbed young man on our panel?
Oh, he's rolled his sleeve up as well. 1 second. Hey, it's the gun show. It's the DK gun show. I tell you something, I could not sledge the 2 of you. The 2 nicest people in the world can't sledge you. But about the sledging, DK, what did they yank the stump mic all out? Because there was a fair bit of chat happening, but it was all kind of lip sync. Couldn't figure anything out.
Yeah, today, even I was trying to keep my ears really close and find out if they're saying something. But I thought there was something interesting going on between Shamsi and Rishabh Pant. But, I didn't clearly hear anything. But clearly that battle was being won by Pant comfortably till he decided to play that shot, I thought.
But after he played that shot, I got to tell you, after he played that shot, when he was going off, there was a little pat on the back from Shamsi to Pant on a well played. Now, I love that. Harsha, I know you're a big fan of that as well.
I'm a silly romantic. Yeah, I'm a silly romantic when it comes to this game because you see Shamsi's reaction. I mean, Shamsi's been taken to the cleaners. I thought it was fabulous the way Pant played Shamsi. He was calculating, he hit one in front of square, the ball was a little fuller, he swept one behind square. I think he realized that if Shamsi got into his rhythm, it'd be difficult to get away on this track. So he broke that rhythm early, got him at 11 and over early on. But Shamsi is this slightly goofy looking, full of energy guy who comes through little. So he's gone, whatever. And then he suddenly says, no, but actually, it was a good inning. So he runs up and pats him on the back. So I like that. I like coming hard and then acknowledging in our sport.
And of course, Markram, which is the curious case of Markram, not the bowler, but the fielder. You give him a sitter and he drops it, and you tell him to run and dive and he gets it. DK, this is just like this must be a northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere thing.
I guess
DK, I think we're losing.
Interestingly, when I heard what Eric Simons had to say on air, he just said that he is arguably one of the best fielders in the world. I haven't watched him that close, but he definitely has the physique. He's got a great throw, and he seems to get to the ball pretty quick. So he's got all the attributes required to become a terrific fielder. In this game, he's dropped a sitter, but before and after that, I think he's taken some really good catches. Even the catch that he ended up taking of Rishabh Pant was a very, very good catch. So he's a terrific fielder. Just that even I've seen Jadeja miss one, which is Sir Jadeja that we're talking about. That's a rarity.
What? Really?
I've also seen him miss one. But if you remember the one, it tells you how good you are. Because with most people, you don't remember. So
I don't like, for example,
catches. So yeah,
it's a bit like my reaction when Virat got out that softly to 0. Right, I was trying to look up and see if there's a meteor that's going to hit the planet, because just these things never happen. Jadejas don't drop catches. But about the bowling, well, Markram will be very happy with his returns as a bowler today. As will, I don't know. Let's have a look at how they've done. There's Lungi and Giri who'll be happy. He's had good. They didn't get a wicket, but his 8 overs were tight. Mangala, of course, expensive, but managed to keep it tight in the middle. So you'd say at 8, perhaps the captain is happy. Adrian Markram there, that's your story. 8 overs, 34 runs for just the wicket. Maharaj getting 1 wicket. There's also Felakwayo getting 1 wicket and Tabraiz Shamsi picking up the 2. So Harsha, no wickets for Ngidi, but he managed to keep it tight. But there you go, Markram. If you're captain Bavuma and Markram, who's supposedly your quote-unquote 6th bowler, and you get 8 overs at 4.5 and a wicket from him, you'll take that 7 days a week.
If I was Markram's mother, like Sehwag ki Ma had become so famous at one point, if you remember, if I was Markram's mother, I would go up to Bavuma and say, you see skills in my son that I hadn't. You see bowling skills in him that I hadn't. But who's to complain with those numbers? My own view is, initially we thought it might be slow, same surface, saw the fast bowlers bowling. We said, oh, hang on, what are we talking about? The moment pace went off, it became like the wicket we thought it would be. And I think that's going to be the key coming back. How are you going to bowl with the pace off? And I won't be surprised even if Bumrah and Bhuvi and the others bowl a lot of that, maybe 4-5 overs from Venkatesh Iyer. But I think it'll largely be a lot of that. Try and take a little bit of pace off and see how they react. The one thing that stood out for me was when there's a big partnership going, then it doesn't seem that difficult. But don't allow that partnership to get going. I just think if you look at the whole game, it was Pant who made the track look different.
Yeah, your views on the track, DK, because somehow at least when Rahul and Rishabh were batting, there was that phase of play for a good 10-12 overs where you said, I don't think the bowler can buy a wicket here. The batter will have to make an unforced error, like they call in tennis, to get out.
Yes, I think with the new ball, the ball comes onto the bat nicely, so it's a good time to bat. But after the first 10 over mark, when the spinners come on and the cutters come more into play, I think the wicket gets that much harder. The toughest part about this wicket is how you start. I think that's when you should be able to absorb pressure, because you are bound to play a few dot balls. Even if it's a spinner bowling or a fast bowler bowling, because there isn't enough pace, you'll end up playing a lot of dot balls, but you need to find a way to get through it. Mentally, it's a hard one. That's where you see some of the players, throw it away sometimes. If you can cross that stage, then things start to get easier. But when you're chasing a big total, obviously the scoreboard pressure always, is daunting on you, and that's when you make mistakes. And that's why in these kind of wickets, to chase that sort of a score can be hard, unless and until there is one settled batsman who's almost batting throughout. Then things look a little better than what it should be.
The 2 Iyers today, both Shreyas and Venkatesh, Harsha, they'll be ruining their chance, right? I mean, they'll be looking back at this. It was absolutely ripe for us. We could have taken it on. They both were batting, what was it, 4 down in 32.3. So they were both out. They were both out in the center in the 33rd over. 183 on the board. It was really set up nicely for both of them to make an impact today.
The discerning fans in Chennai might say you missed out another Iyer who made 25 of 24 balls, but let's go
Fair enough,
beyond that.
Ashwin. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I think Shreyas missed out on opportunity. Sometimes I think with the wrist spinner, Shreyas tries too hard to say, "Look, I'm boss." And we've seen this in the past. The moment a leggy comes on, something ignites in him, and he wants to show, "Look, I'm the boss." So I think Shreyas will be a little disappointed with Venkatesh Iyer. Yeah, I think Venkatesh Iyer was setting himself up so that there could be a batsman in the back end when it came to hitting the ball, and just a brilliant piece of work. I think DK, you would have been proud of that too. Just a brilliant piece of work from Quinton de Kock. It's the second time he's done it, but this was even better than I thought the first day.
I keep asking DK to rate it. No, DK's a wicket-keeping headmaster here, so we asked him to rate a few chances in the first one as well. This Quinny de Kock dismissal on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it, DK? Come on.
This is a 9.5 on 10, GK. Somebody bowling 125 plus, you taking the opportunity to come and stand up to the wicket, and then on both occasions, them getting beaten down the leg. But the speed at which he does the stumping in both occasions, at least Pant just walked across, fell over a little bit, and his leg went out. In this case, he just lifted his foot. His timing was, coincidental. It is not like he planned it, because even he wasn't sure. If you could see the appeal, it wasn't something that he was very sure about. It was stifled, laborious. He's like, I was that sort of a thing. It wasn't like, it's plumb. So you could see, but the beauty about that whole thing is he's somebody, if you look at it technically, is a different kind of MS Dhoni. He's not somebody who's by the book. He has his own methods of how he, collects the ball. It's not something that you can teach to anybody. He's got a very easy stance, goes down low, late. He's just sitting on his heels. He does pretty much everything that a keeper shouldn't do. But the way he manages to collect balls with soft hands, he's actually one of the better keepers going around in world cricket. And more importantly, one of the most improved keepers, because when he did come in at the start, he wasn't this good. Over a period of time, he's definitely put work into his keeping skills, and he's really improved. Because even for Mumbai Indians, when he's kept to some good bowlers, but you have not heard his name at all, which basically says that he's done a fabulous job. By now, if he's dropped a few catches, that's when you remember the keepers. But because his name has not been heard, I think he's done a very, very good job.
Yeah, that's what they always say about wicket keepers, right? If you're not hearing their name, means they're doing a good job, because they only end up hearing their name when there's something missed or buys or chances that are let go. But we did get a few tweets about the rule, Harsha, and I'm sure I think you were tagged in them as well, because there's of course the running rule that if your bat crosses the line and then if your elbow hits the ground and the bat is lifted up when the wicket is dislodged, when the bails are dislodged, that's considered in. But not the same with the foot when you're a batter and it's a stumping.
I think it's when you finish playing your shot as well. Suppose in the process of playing the shot, your foot is in and then it goes up. In the process of playing a shot, you can still be out stumped. In this case, though, I think when the foot was grounded, it was on the line. And then it went up. So I'm not sure it was grounded too much in the first place. But you could argue he wasn't through with completing the shot. When you're running in, when you ground your bat inside the crease, you've actually finished completing the run. Then if it goes up, you're actually made your ground first. In this case, I think you're still in the process of playing a shot. That's my view of it all. Because when the ball is stumped, your foot is in there, you're still out.
Yep. And that's exactly how Venkatesh Iyer got out today. Let's have a look at the scorecard again. If you're just joining us, India, of course, won the toss and decided to bat first. There was a good opening stand between Shikhar Dhawan and Captain KL Rahul, of course. And then 2 quick wickets fell. There was Dhawan who went at 63. Virat went soon after at 64. And then there was a century stand, 115 runs with KL Rahul, the captain, and Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant going on to get his highest one-day international score in short career that he's had in ODIs. And then later, of course, can't call it rearguard action anymore from Shardul Thakur, because proper number 7 got a half century in the first. He's got 40 in the second. Proper batter, DK, 2 out of 2. Come on.
Look, I think this is the easy part of Shardul Thakur's career in batting. I think the way he's showing promise, the pressure is going to increase, because they're going to expect runs out of him now. So expect a certain type of batting. He's obviously helping himself by becoming that all-rounder, giving them the opportunity to say, hey, maybe this is the guy we need to look at as an all-rounder because he can bowl a bit, he can bat a bit, and that is great for him. But with that comes the fact that they're going to start depending on him. Now, every time he walks out, he's expected to do certain things as a number 7 batter, which is to make sure you finish the inning, or you make sure, if you're obviously chasing down the total, try and chase it down. So that's where the pressure mounts for him. Now, the game starts for him in many ways from here on, when they look at him and go, you know what? Yes, we like you with the ball. You know you're doing what you're doing. But when it comes with the bat, this is what we expect out of you. And then he needs to deliver consistently. That's going to be his biggest challenge.
Yeah, it's always when you have a second skill. I mean, all along for Shardul, this is a second skill. When you score runs at 7 and 8, people say, oh, he's good enough to score. He's good enough to bat at 6, The moment you come to bat at 6, people say, acha, now let's see. Because an average of 28-30 when you're batting at 7 is pretty good. Even in Test cricket, keepers traditionally averaged early 30s sort of. If you're averaging 30-31 as a number 7, you're doing really well. The moment you say, okay, let's put him in at number 5 or 6, people are saying, no, now that average won't do. So you've got to play a different role. So yeah, it'll be interesting. He's in a nothing to lose situation when he comes in here, so it's a lot easier. But he does look like in this situation, yeah, he likes batting. You can expect runs from him at this stage, at least the way he's going in his career.
Well,
the one thing, GK, but that is very obvious in his batting is his potential. I think some of the shots that he is playing, it's by no means something that he can't replicate, because it is there in him. The ability to hit over covers on the back foot. These are serious shots. Like, proper talented batsmen can't do some of the things that he does. Like, off the back foot, ball turning and hitting it over covers and making it look easy is not easy. He is he's somebody who has proper skill. Just the 6 that he hit of Feliquai, if he decides to hit, you can see one of the key things that you can notice when people hit a ball well, the bat doesn't turn much. So when they show the super slow-mo, you can see how still his bat is, which shows that his downswing is very pure, very straight, very unadulterated. And I really like that about his batting.
Of course, the big news in the world of cricket today is the T20 World Cup that's happening in 2022. Yes, there's another one this year. And so what happens with the scheduling of these World Cups is, first you schedule an India-Pakistan match, the El Clasico, and then you just build everything else around it, right? So it's what we like to call in the Hindi show the Tambu Ka Bambu. So it's the center of the tent, right? It's the tent pole. So there you go. India-Pakistan is going to be happening in Melbourne on the 23rd of October. And of course, when it comes to being excited about it, we are hashtag much excite. Everybody's much excite. This is the most much excite, Harsha, in world cricket, isn't it? India-Pakistan T20 format. And so my question is, when do you think the revenge ads are going to start coming out? In a week?
No, about 3 hours ago. The first thing that strikes me about that schedule, yes, India, Pakistan, MCG, I'm looking at the gap between games, 3-4, 3-4 kind of gap between games. It's not 1 week, and suddenly, oh my God, I got to play again today, is it? Which was the case earlier. Earlier when they used to make the groups, and I'm assuming they've done it exactly that way. It was, you looked at the rankings at a cutoff time, and then said, okay, number 1 is on top of Group A, 2 and 3 are Group B, 4 and 5 are back to Group A, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, and then 10 goes back to Group B. That is how they did it to try and equalize teams. I'm assuming this is how they've done, because I'm not sure at the moment what the cutoff date was and how they scheduled, how they made the groups. But yeah, I mean, in India, Pakistan at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, they'll be hoping for 100,000 people in there. That's the marketing people's dream. Eventually, it's a cricket match with the same number of points as any other. And I hope we never lose sight of that eventually.
I'm telling you how it happens. It's like putting up a tent. You put the tent pole up first, and then you put the tent, and then you tether it, in different places over there. Then you bring the furniture in. But first, the tent pole must go up, right, DK?
Absolutely. And the tent pole is this game. And, we built it up. Everybody expected so much out of the India-Pakistan game. Turned out a good game. Only thing that it didn't work out really well for India, but it went beautifully well for Pakistan. I think they got so much confidence from it. They just sailed through the rest of the tournament till they obviously lost in the semis. But I can tell you one thing, India's got a bit of traveling to do. Every venue is a different venue. You play one day in Sydney, and then obviously you have 3 days break, which is great. But then the flights are going to be long. I can see one in Perth as well. So it's going to be a very interesting amounts of travel, actually. But the good thing is there is, just like Harsha said, there's 3 days break almost every game, which inevitably gives you some breathing time.
He makes a very valid point, DK. Look at the game in Perth, India, South Africa on the 30th. Then you play Bangladesh on the 2nd. When you leave on the 31st, it's almost the end of 31st in on the eastern coast in Australia.
That's right. Yes.
So really, you warm up on the 1st and play on the 2nd. Whereas when you go the other way, you've got a lot of time, but it's a huge time difference with the rest. So, and a long flight.
It's a very long flight. For people who've not been to Australia, I have to tell you, the first time I went to Australia, you have those little flight maps that you see on your screen. I got on the flight at Sydney. I think I watched a movie, I ate a meal, I took a nap, I got up and I looked at it. We're still over that landmass of Australia. It's crazy. That thing goes on forever.
When do you see a whole movie on a domestic flight? I saw a whole movie. I saw School of Rock, by the way. Jack Black's School of Rock. I saw that on a flight on a flight to Perth. But I think, and I'm pretty sure, if you take a ruler, a proper ruler, and mark Melbourne or Sydney, Perth, and Chennai, I won't be surprised if it's close to the midpoint.
Ooh, interesting. That I'm telling you, that domestic flight in Australia is so long, you can watch 2 Ashutosh Gowarikar films back to back. I'm telling you, it's a challenge that I'm showing.
Earlier Perth was the entry point to get in. Air India had a huge office in Perth, and that's why a lot of former Air India employees actually settled down in Perth and never came back.
I love this trivia. I love trivia like this on Cricbuzz Live. I'll give you a piece of trivia as well. I don't know if that'll help, but if you can speak Bengali in Rome, you can save almost 25 euros a day. There you go.
Bengali in Rome. What are Bengalis doing in Rome?
That's right. There's so many immigrants from Bangladesh who are in Rome, and they are the ones who are doing all the souvenirs. They have some of the roadside stalls. They have stuff. So if you can speak in Bengali, they give you a euro, €2 off on your fruit, on your water, on your souvenirs. You can save about 50.
Is that offer valid for KKR players also?
Absolutely. You wear your jersey there. I mean, you just have to go and say Kemonachin. That's all.
I thought wherever there's Bangladesh, you just go and say Shakib Al Hasan, best all-rounder the game has ever seen, and then everything is on the house after that.
That's true. And for DK, that's not going to be tough. He's DK's good buddy.
I've done that a couple of times with no expectation, by the way. I just said, okay, I think I want good service. That is Shakib, best all-rounder. Everything done for you, including your next trip over there. But if you speak Punjabi, you should get double off because the Indians and Pakistanis both will give you off if you speak in Punjabi.
That you can do in New York. That's in New York. So we're giving you so much travel advice. We've gone from the US to Europe to Australia. Travel advice at a time where you can't travel. That's what Cricbuzz Live is all about. It's sometimes just a storehouse of absolutely useless trivia.
Okay, since you are the trivia expert, let me ask DK a cricket question.
Yes. Is it the joy factor question? Because he solved it, by the way, in the com box. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, in a minute. If the new ball is when your best chance of scoring runs, do you go hard at the new ball when you're chasing, even if you're chasing 290?
I mean, you don't go extra hard, but you definitely keep a slightly, instead of batting in the first and second gear, you can definitely bat consistently in the third gear. And you keep that intent. You know, it's not something like you're looking to make sure wickets don't fall. That is one side of how people bat. Here, you're looking to score runs. You want to, get the team off to a good start, because even if you lose a wicket, you'd rather be 60, 65 than be 33. That's the whole point here.
Would you then just... The other day, as Bavuma threw Markram to open the bowling, would Rahul just throw Venki Iyer and say, all right, the ball's hard, just take some pace off? Come on.
I think our best bowler is Jasprit Bumrah. I think we should stick to him. And if at all, the way Bhuvi is bowling right now, he can get you a couple of wickets. It will be with the brand new ball.
Let's see if he can get a little bit of movement, because if there's any to exploit, that Bhuvi can get that done. All right, a joy factor question, which Dinesh had a fair stab at in the com box. Let's see if that's correct or not. What was unique about New South Wales batsman Ryan Hackney's dismissal in a game against the England Lions in March 2020? The answer is boom, boom. He was caught by Ollie Robinson, off the bowling of Ollie Robinson. Both keeper and bowler shared the same name. DK, you got that absolutely right. Well done. Well done,
Google.
You didn't Google that, no.
See?
You did? Nah. Did you? I think you guessed it after I did the whole Iyer bit.
But I mean, it's hard to guess Ollie Robinson, isn't it? You would guess somewhere something close to that, some similar names, but guess
Are you
Ollie
trying to
Robinson would
take
be.
credit or give credit to Google? I'm very confused. Are you trying to say you're a
You
dude, or
know,
you're trying to say you
you
lent
got to
on
understand
search?
that Sundar Pichai is from my neck of the woods, so it's okay. I like to give him credit.
And he's a cricket lover. He's a
What's that?
ridiculous cricket lover.
Yeah, he's a cricket lover.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, he
Cricket
is.
lover.
Big cricket lover.
Big cricket lover. All right. Of course, we've got big cricket lovers here as well because they answer the joy factor questions. And let's see who got the first correct answer. It's Parth Narodia. Congratulations, Parth. You are the winner.
The
joy
thing with
factor-
Pant Narodia, Gaurav, is it's very unlikely there'll be a caught Narodia, bowled Narodia situation in international cricket.
That's true. That's true. There won't be. Yaneman. By the way, I want to call him Janeman. It's really, I know we're not on the Hindi show, but I want to call him Janeman. But if Janeman ever got a franchise team, he should get both Nayan Mongia and Nayan Doshi in his team so that we can all say Janeman, Janeman, Tere To Nayan. Boom.
No, you didn't say that. No, I know you prepped a long time to say
Building
that.
up a long time inside me.
I can imagine.
Really was.
Oh.
I completely forgot in the first game. I just completely forgot. But I'm going to say it now. They've got good averages.
Cricbuzz, you
I'll
still
tell you
give
something.
this guy. Yeah.
They shouldn't allow me to
Janeman,
come out at
Janeman.
all. I'm not fit for public consumption or human interaction. But if we were just to look at the numbers of the batters here, keep talking about a South Africa team that is in transition. I don't know if you can say that anymore, but in the last few years, they've had a few big names, a few experienced batters who have retired and gone out of the game. And you'd have to say, with the kind of numbers that they have here, Harsha, you take this. Look at it. I mean, it's Markram, who is perhaps not been a decent form, but he's done his bit today on field, in the field as well as with the ball. But otherwise, look at those averages. Yes, not too much experience, except the top and the bottom there, over 100 games, but healthy averages there.
Started well. They've started well. They're all very young. 12 games for Malan, 14 for Bavuma, just 30 for Van der Dusen. These are small numbers. Just 35 for Markram. So they've started very well. Now it's up to them to keep that going. They've started fantastic, and they're good players. Doesn't matter how many games. If after 6 games you're averaging 50, you're still a good player. But if you're averaging that after 50, 60 games, you're an even better player. So let's wait and see how they go about. Today will be a good test, because a run chase is always a good test. So let's wait and see how they go.
They've got DK. They've got the talent, but is this surface and India's bowling and the fact that they're chasing does that make the target far further than you could look at on paper?
I think so. I think their batting is overachieved in this series consistently. I think they have a good set of batsmen, but they've definitely punched way above their weight. With the kind of styles they have, the kind of shots they have, they've done really well for themselves. They can be really proud of themselves. They've dug themselves out of mighty holes that they have in many ways been in. So they can be really proud of their efforts so far. And one more effort here, which I think is very, very hard. If they manage to do it, we should doff our hats and say that is an unbelievable effort if they can manage to do it. But it is going to be really hard, because I can see the spinners, in many ways spinning a web around them.
Of course, before we go, we have one last piece of business, which is that Harsha, your guess was, what was it? 290, was it? You got the closest again. What was yours? No,
I thought I said 283, no?
283. Wow, even closer.
What did DK say? DK said 275.
75.
He said 275. You said 283.
DK always gets it right till over number 47, 48 and all. So.
2 out of 2. We doff our hats to you. 2 out of 2. Well done, Mr. Bhogle. Let's see if DK.
So like Lata Mangeshkar withdrew after a while from the Filmfare Awards. Maybe I should just withdraw.
Please, just wait.
आप भिड़ लो अपने आप में. आपके नयन, उसके नयन,
This
दो
is
दो
not
नयन.
fair. This is not a you kids now battle for the third one. No, come on. Make it 3 out of 3, then retire.
तुम्हारे नयन, उसके नयन, दो नयन, you can keep spending.
All right, my Janimans. We will see you in the 15th over with Cricbuzz Combox. That's when the update will happen. So that's when we'll be here. Big thank you to Harsha Bhogle and Dinesh Karthik. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.